Okay,
Yeah. It's actually, yeah, I go to, Judy's down there.
Yeah, you get a bigger turnout.
That salon just, there's Eris, but then she has. Or has, I've been going to her. She got me totally wrong. Yeah, it was short. And she helped me grow it a lot. I've changed dramatically in the last 2 months.
I like the color. It's pretty.
Yeah, left or right.
It does work. Yeah. My house, my hair work pretty well.
We'll start in just a minute. Okay, this is the call to order of the 360 Homeowner Association General Session to conduct the town hall this evening. We're convened at 7:34 p.m. And before we begin, I'd like to make sure you're all aware that this is being live streamed on Facebook Live, which means that this is being seen throughout the community. It will be available on Facebook after the fact, and we will post a YouTube link when we convert it tomorrow for all those who don't have Facebook who may be interested. We'll send out a blast about that. So what we're going to do is start the session, and I'm actually going to begin if you folks would close that back door so we can keep out some of the noise, and we'll unlock that. You all have an agenda in front of you, so we've already called this to order. I'd like to make sure that you do understand the process, which is down below the handouts, which you all are able to pick up right here. So we're going to do this in a fashion that was done a couple of years ago. We had a parking town hall where there were many questions, and we're going to do it with a podium-based system. You have a question. When we get to that, you come up, you use the microphone, you ask the question. You have 3 minutes to state your question. When you're done with your question, you go back to the back of the line, or you can choose to go ahead and sit down. So that's going to be the process of what we're doing. I think if you read on yellow, you'll notice that the board is going to be reviewing all the comments and discussion tomorrow in an executive session, and the board may choose to edit some of this amendment. So we're giving the community another opportunity to understand our viewpoints and we to understand yours. So the last comment there about the timeline before we actually do introductions. We'll obviously have the session right now. We intend to mail out the new amendment, whether it's edited or not, we'll see, either Wednesday or Thursday. We will have an early bird raffle for those who vote by August 25th, which is going to coincide with our Burger Day with In-N-Out. So as long as it's received in the mail by Friday the 24th, and you show up in person on the 25th, you will be able to both get a burger and be eligible for the drawing that day for an iPad. The voting will end on September 11th, which is Tuesday. All ballots must be received by then. In the tally of those ballots, assuming a quorum of 25% of votes have been received, then the ballots can be opened. And as you've seen and I'm sure are aware of, we need 67% yes votes for this to pass. So that's the administrative stuff. Let me begin with introductions. I am Neil Gaffney, the president. We have as our guest Jasmine Hale, who's been an attorney for years, from Adams Sterling. We have with us a guest professional who's a banker, and I'm going to let him introduce himself in just a minute. We'll come back to him, Victor Saman. Mary Hale is our vice president. Ken Lester is our treasurer. Barbara Stewart's our secretary, and Bill Beebe is our member at large. And that empty chair will be filled shortly with Brad Watson, the president of PMP, which is our management company. So that represents this group up here. You probably know most of us. You may not know Victor, so I'm going to let Victor introduce himself.
Hi everybody, my name is Victor Saman. I'm a senior mortgage loan officer over here at Manhattan Village Bank of America transactions in this complex alone. 3 of them were purchases and, 4 of them were purchases and 4 of them were refinances. So I have a pretty good understanding of the HOA. We've done some business here. So.
Okay, with that said, we've reviewed the agenda and the procedures. You have the handouts which include the agenda, the Third Amendment, which is what was sent out on July 25th. It was sent out as an e-blast. You may have seen it other ways. It was obviously not included in the ballot mail-out, which was an administrative oversight, and which was unfortunate. But I'd like to say that because of that administrative oversight, it has not cost the HOA any money. So it'll be redone again this week. There is a PowerPoint which addresses various articles that we'll talk about when the time comes. But first I want to provide, I guess we'll provide Victor the first opportunity to speak. Victor is here until 8:30 with us, and he has to depart. When Brad Watson gets here, he is also here only till 8:30. So we're going to respect their time. And should we go to PowerPoint at all first?
Do you want to go to Mary's data?
Should we do this first?
Sure.
Sure. So we'll let Mary talk about a variety of topics.
Well, I'm going to go over some survey data that we did. Many of you answered our survey that we sent out. We had 2 questions on there related to the research we were doing on CC&Rs to help give us guidance on what the community wanted. One of those questions was about rental caps and what people in the community felt was an appropriate level of rental cap, or whether rental caps is something we should consider at all. And that was part of the information we used to inform us. We sent out 500 surveys. You might say, well, there's 517 member households. Well, we have met people that own more than 1 unit in the association, and we also have some members who have not listed an email address with us. They prefer written communication, so we had no way to do the electronic survey. When we compiled the results, if someone did have more than 1 unit, we normalized the data to account for that. In the end, 80% of the respondents, there was 194 respondents out of 500. If you've ever done a survey, that's a fairly decent response. 80% wanted some sort of cap. And 20% wanted no cap at all. In fact, 75% favored 25% or less, and like more restrictive, even as low as there was many that wanted a 15% rental cap, which would be actually more restrictive than what we think we have today. And there was another 5% that thought 30%